those new abilities start focused?
They
Or did
they start with
And-
nothing.
Okay, and I
They
had
s-
4 before. Oh, that's why it's 0. So I made it focused. Okay. I wonder if that was smart.
How much is prior to focus?
Prior to.
I don't remember if I had that. I have at least one stun. I might have two.
Oh, we can at this point. All the stun will clear.
So we got a quite.
Yeah, you guys are all unstunned. I think.
We were going.
So
Actually, wait.
Wait.
Leave one. So everybody should be at just one stun
Yes.
injury, and that is simply because you are not really receiving the kind of care and general tending that you get when you are in the hive.
Given that we obviously have been here for a while now, as the rest of the stuns is gone, we didn't find anything that would be
Yes,
kind of enable us to take care of ourselves.
correct.
Better.
Or
Mhm.
well, you haven't been trying either, so that's the question. Although Max does have the medicine ability now
Yes.
and could start using it. That is a strong possibility. In fact, it is probably becoming a necessity.
And then we are.
That's
Wait,
the-
who was injured last time?
did anyone get injured last time?
I don't think so.
Not really.
No, you were lucky against the
The
bats.
two were taking care of.
Yeah, we
whatever
burned
was
up
over
all.
my head.
We burned up all the bats, and one was getting to Helma, but we killed it beforehand.
Mhm.
So nobody was hurt.
I was very busy looking for copper.
You
Yes.
were busy, yes.
Awesome. 1, 2, 3.
It's obviously healthier than trying to run for cover. For some curious reason. Probably because food for most predators has a tendency to
Wait.
run.
We have now bats. Can we eat it?
No, these bats were not in edible condition. afterwards.
But somebody burned, so we can just.
It was, you know when you burn something too much?
We didn't have our power cooker.
So this is probably giving away a lot more information than your characters have. But to give you an idea, you entered into this system of the old mining operation. And then this is where you were running into all the bats last time. And then remember I said that it proceeds up into the opening of this massive structure. And so what your characters would perceive is a very pragmatic rebuilding of this opening, so that now it is set up for heavy lifting on some kind of a lift, as well as you can probably see the old ladder that they first built. And then as time went by, it became more of a path and built up rock and material so that it could turn into a little path, and then that eventually became a usable walkway. So this whole area has been altered steadily over some time. Once it seemed as though this thing's placement was effectively permanent. So therefore, as I recall, last time was your proceeding into this structure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mhm.
So there's this very extensive open space here. Okay, so the rest of the map, of course, you didn't see.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. All right then.
No, I
no.
mean seriously, because of that horribly road.
Yes, you do have the
Sorry.
blueprints
Yes.
set up.
Or at
as
least I
recall,
did
right.
see how
Right.
it looked like when it was functioning.
Correct.
I'm getting to the point where I think it may have changed a lot.
Yeah. But yes, it's true. Your original or schematic version
Yes.
of the map is definitely in place. And that's one thing I suppose we could point out is that what you studied isn't quite what you're seeing now. It has been repurposed. So good. Let's, I guess, it's been a little while. So, archivist, let's see. I'm trying to remember all the numbers without looking anymore. 28, 62, 63.
Yes.
Who is doing a lot of walking on her own 2 feet lately.
Oh, yes.
Yes, very different from your previous habits. And then we have technician 8052, 805211, I suppose. And the primary issue for you is that all this stuff is just lying around. Somebody left all this equipment everywhere. And you already made the other thing go.
I already broke half of it, but it's fine.
Yeah, you may have left a little wreckage along your way, but you have made at least one very impressive thing work. And this is a bigger thing.
Ooh! Nothing to look at.
And as far as I can tell, you're probably the most comfortable with the new hive.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem to have any angst.
No, I'm just focused on my work.
Right.
Everything else.
Right. And so let's see here with the drone 115716. The primary issue here is, and I'm just thinking about my perceptions of what I'm seeing, is that you of all of them are the one who is actually surprisingly comfortable with being alone with your own thoughts once in a while, which is not something that any of you have ever experienced from the moment you were born. You're able to shut people out. Somebody says, hey, let's go. I mean, most of the others are kind of like, if we do anything, we have to hold hands first, at least mentally, because it's scary otherwise. And that doesn't seem to be your issue. The 2 soldiers are very different. We've got you, who is expanding outward into all kinds of other activities, even turning more medically oriented and not really thinking of everything in terms of how to kill it. Although a little killing has been involved. But the other soldier, so that's you, who is 249800, and then 343900 on the other hand, seems to be soldiering more and more and more tightly in his mind. So that is where we are. In fact, I think those experience points for him is going to shift his combat psionics.
You got a gun.
Me? From him?
And I think you both got a gun.
Yeah, there were 2. There were 2, and I believe it is you and you
Yes.
who have.
They
are.
I think I gave you a gun too.
Yes.
Nathan.
When
did
we
not-
say you got a gun.
Well,
Was
now
it-
I have.
Yeah.
I know that you wanted it, but you did not speak up quickly enough for the other 2.
Yeah.
I know, I don't
I
know.
think
Yeah.
I mean, I'm spending half of my time breaking things apart.
Okay.
Only the gun.
Yes.
I think that 393400 showed me actually a mental picture of how to use it.
Absolutely. Yes. So that is very definitely the case. So
After that little incident.
yes, and so you have, and that's why you have shooting it prior
Yeah.
right now. Okay.
That's where the points went.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, to start. Okay, so the pack of you, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 biomechs, as we are called, head into this large open area which is inside. So back under the ceiling. Although it is very high, this huge white open space is actually quite large. Multiple football fields.
Do we know
So-
Sorry.
Personal reference. And no, your characters definitely do not. So it's considerable. Yeah, it's this considerable space, and it's to review in my little head. Yes, okay. So this whole area has been developed into a processing center for the things they bring in from the mine.
Okay.
And it may previously have been for other things, which you could examine especially you could examine to see what it may have been used for first. But there is a lot of processing. You saw below there was a lot of heavy processing, right? Isolation of materials and packing of materials and things like that. Up here is where they would have actually purposed them into functions. And there's lots of it looks like it was a lot of handwork, not automated. So people had to be here doing things, which is fairly common for the hive, actually. But some things are automated, and it doesn't look as though there is very much. So when and if you want to ask about what that kind of work was like, we'll get there. But for everyone else, there are a lot of different. There's some portals into other sections of this. I suppose it may be almost impossible for you not to think of it as some kind of hive, just structurally. But there are also an immense amount of storage, big canisters, like on a modern container ship. There's these big rectangular things that have been set into place, clearly for storing something. And then one more thing that the soldiers, I'm certain, or others will be interested in. There is what was once clearly a rather pragmatic weapon rack that has been set into at least two places, because this place is so big, at least two places where there have been weapon racks with some things still in them. So at the moment, at first glance, there's not much to see. Yeah, that's actually right when you come in, right there to the right. One last thing, a lot of different outfits to wear, things that you can put on, and some of them look quite familiar to you. There are the same, or at least they are similar in design to what you're familiar with in the hive. One piece zip up kind of items that you put on, and some of them have lights built into different places. There's even one kind of suit that is extremely extensive that you're not familiar with. But there's a whole set of those here. The whole place looks unused and for a long time.
How much do we actually see? Because there's
Now
a
that you're
roof,
inside, yeah.
So is there any kind of light, ambient or otherwise, or is it just the light that comes in?
Right now it is, remember,
Through the
the sun
entrance.
has risen, and so there's ambient light that is coming in from where you are, enough to get the impressions that I have stated, but not enough to go and examine any of these things in detail from where you are. And when you go further in, the sunlight cannot reach, and although it is not, therefore the whole place cannot be completely inky darkness, completely dark, but it is so heavily shadowed in the back that you would need, one of the lights. or some kind of light source to get there.
Did we have a light source?
You do have some, yes.
I have a music room.
But-
There's like flashlight source.
Mhm.
That's,
We can have more.
Mhm.
yes.
And so the air in here is quite good because this portal has been open, and there may be other, for all you know, there are other openings, but it does not smell as though the air has been still in here continually. So
Emma, did you share what you got from
The
the
map?
archive? Yes,
Yes.
and the fact that you had people before.
Well, not all information about the people before and before that, especially not before that, but the information about the map and what we were supposed to do,
Okay.
and that we should have, or that the hive counted on us meeting others
Okay.
that were slightly different.
absolutely
but that
correct.
information obviously isn't.
Have you failed?
Yes.
You failed. Okay. So the things that you therefore all know about this layout is you know that as you enter, if you were to go in through some doors this way,
Yeah.
that is where incredibly important materials for Zero are kept.
Wait a second. I failed my refocus.
Yes, I figured. Yeah,
That just yeah.
I understand. Yeah. And so therefore you know that there is an extensive set of technical materials and resources and data that is that way. Furthermore, something to do with navigation, piloting, observation, that's even further, way further.
That's great.
Right. And excellent. Just to clarify, to the right, therefore, would be living quarters and some kind of operations or defensive sector. And then all the way down is what also this would be of interest to you, is the energy sources and energy supply for the entire structure.
Yeah, maybe energy first then.
So there's also Now, what are we doing? Oh, okay, okay. That's a random thing. Okay,
Yes.
I see. Okay, so those. So that's interesting. I imagine you've walked forward and started to turn to your left, and then swung about and are now proceeding across this open space without regard to dingoes, bats,
Doesn't matter.
seekers, and I have a lot more fingers than that. Okay.
Yeah. No,
So okay, so that's your situation. How about everybody else? What's going on?
Was there some storage or kitchen or something that we can be?
That's the same direction he is going to.
Okay, so I suggest that we follow the guy that doesn't follow anybody
Right?
and
The good
keep
listener.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Everybody that has lights turns them on, and we walk forward.
I'm the only one with lights, right?
I believe
So-
that Henna has a light source as well. At handheld.
Into the room.
No?
Okay.
Yeah, but
Alright.
if not, like, maybe you can grab like one of those flashlight suits. And then,
Aha, that's not a problem.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the fabric and the material it's made of is unnecessarily soft and flexible based on what you're used to.
Okay.
And also there doesn't seem to be any way to hook it into your neural network.
Okay.
So for some reason they failed. They left that part off. And so everything on it has to be operated manually or through some kind of direct interface, which is very inefficient, obviously. But yes, it is a very practical technician's suit and allows shining. You can just position your arm or whatever so that the lights will shine where you want them to.